أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقتلوا الصيد وأنتم حرم ومن قتله منكم متعمدا فجزاء مثل ما قتل من النعم يحكم به ذو عدل منكم هديا بالغ الكعبة أو كفارة طعام مساكين أو عدل ذلك صياما ليذوق وبال أمره عفى الله عما سلف ومن عاد فينتقم الله منه والله عزيز ذو انتقام أحل لكم صيد البحر وطعامه متاعا لكم وللسيارة وحرم عليكم صيد البر ما دمتم حرما واتقوا الله الذي إليه تحشرون. Surah Al-Maidah verse 95 and 96. The translation is: O ye who believe, do not hunt animals or kill game while you are on pilgrimage or while you are in Ihram. And whosoever amongst you hunts animals or kills game deliberately, so the compensation is to offer its equivalence amongst the animals, as judged by two reliable people amongst you, to be sent and sacrificed in Haram or Kaaba, or the compensation is to feed the needy or keep as many fasts as the needy people, so that they may taste the consequences of their violations. Allah has forgiven what has already passed, and whoever repeats the sin, then Allah will punish him or will take revenge from him. Indeed, and Allah is almighty and capable of punishment or punishing. O believers, it is allowed for you to hunt seafood and eat it. It is a benefit for you and for the travelers, and you have been disallowed to hunt in the jungles or land as long as you are in ihram or on pilgrimage. Wattaqullah, and fear Allah, in front of whom all of you will be gathered. In these verses, Allah SWT is explaining some restrictions regarding the food that we eat. We must remember that Allah SWT has created everything for us, including the food that we eat. But to test us, sometimes some foods can be declared as unlawful, and some foods have already been declared permanently as unlawful. For example, eating pork and other types of meat which are not allowed in Islam. So that is to test us, and that is also not good for our health. But there are some foods that are disallowed temporarily, and that is the subject of these two verses. So when someone goes on pilgrimage for Hajj or Umrah, and he is in the condition of Ihram, so he has taken on Ihram. So in Ihram you are not allowed to hunt animals. Hunting animals was a very famous and important activity in the past days, because that was done for livelihood, and the Sahaba Rizwanullah Ta'ala Ajmain used to hunt animals for livelihood. But when you are going on pilgrimage, then hunting has not been allowed. So the word used here is Said, Swad Ya Dal, and is used to refer to wild animals that typically do not habitate themselves along with humans. They remain aloof in jungles and in other lands in which the humans are not there. So Said refers to those wild animals. So Said cannot refer to, for example, all types of sheep and goats and cows and camels. So they are not Said. So when you are Muhrim, then you can you can sacrifice these animals, that is the cow, camels, etc., and you can also eat their meat. So that is not a problem. But other wild animals, you can't hunt them down, whether their meat is allowed in Islam or not allowed in Islam. You definitely are not allowed to hunt them while you are on pilgrimage, and while you are muhrim, or muhrim means that you are wearing the ihram. So being a muhrim, you cannot hunt those wild animals, notwithstanding their meat. So you can't say, oh, the meat of this animal is allowed, so I can hunt it down, even though it is a wild animal. So that will be wrong. But there are some animals which you can hunt down and kill even while you are a muhrim, because they are dangerous animals, and you generally have a feeling of abhorrence or hate, if one misuse those words, when you think of these animals. For example, you have the crow, the bird, the kite, which is a carnivorous bird, which you can typically cause you harm, and also wolves and dangerous insects like or reptiles like snake and scorpions and all those things that can cause you harm. So, or some dog which can bite you. So you can attack and kill all of these animals, even if you are mohrim. Similarly, some animal which can attack you directly, even if it is not carnivorous, but can attack you and hurt you. So you are allowed to defend yourself and kill that animal while being a mohrim. So that is definitely not a problem. And then the seafood has been allowed. Uhilla lakum saydul bahri, that if you hunt seafood while you are muhrim, then it is allowed for you, and it is also allowed for you to eat it. And here the fuqaha have differed in their opinions, which type of seafood is allowed to eat, and which type is not allowed. So there are some animals which are not allowed to eat even though they are seafood, but generally speaking fish is allowed, provided that it is caught in a specific way. So there are details in the books of fiqh of the difference of opinion amongst the Hanafi and Shafi'i and Maliki and Hanbali school of thoughts. If someone kills an animal and he is not a muhrim, and like eating the meat of that animal is allowed, so a muhrim can eat the meat of that animal, but the condition is that he should not have aided or helped the hunter in any way to hunt that animal down or injure it or kill it. So that is not allowed at all. So for example, he can point towards that animal, he can tell something, or he can just say that okay, you can go here, etc., etc., then you can hunt it down. So in no way the muhrim should have helped the hunter in hunting that animal down. So in that situation, if he has not helped the hunter, then it is allowed for the muhrim to eat the meat of that hunted animal. And if you hunt down an animal by being a muhrim, uh, whether you do it deliberately or you do it non-deliberately, in both the cases you have to give kaffara, or you have to pay the consequences, because typically if you forgot that you are a muhrim and you hunt some animal down, so that does not probably make sense, because hunting it takes time. It's not an immediate action that is just terminated after a few seconds, but it takes time. So it's hard to believe that one can forget that he is a muhrim for such a long time during the course of the hunting. So therefore he has to pay the consequences, even though he forgot that he is a muhrim. He should have been more careful from the very beginning. So the way to pay the consequences is this, that for example, if some muhrim hunts an animal down, so that is probably in some area while he is going for Hajj, so it's better to contact two people of that area, the people who are living there. So amongst them, one has to select two people who are considered reliable and they are trustworthy people, and they should be asked to estimate the price of the killed animal. So if you can only find one person, then that is also okay. So that person or two persons will estimate the price of the killed animal. Now the first thing that you can do to pay the consequences is to buy an animal from that price with the intention of sacrificing it in the Kaaba or Hudud-e-Haram, and that animal is called a hadi in Arabic. So you can buy an animal with the intention of a hadi and then send it to the Kaaba and have it sacrificed there and distribute its meat to all the needy people in Hudud-e-Haram or nearby places. The second thing you can do is to buy grain from that estimated amount, and then have it distributed amongst the masakeen or the needy people, uh, with respect to the nisab for sadqatul fitr, which is half a sa per needy. So one should estimate the price of half a sa, and then see how many half sa can be, can come in the estimated price of the killed animal, and that is equal to the amount of people or the needy that money has to be given to. So for example, if the price of the killed animal is 1000 rupees and half a sa is 100 rupees, then half a sa has to be distributed amongst 10 needy people, and so that will equate with 1000 rupees. And the third thing you can do as kaffara is that if you don't want to give to 10 needy people, then you can keep 10 fasts or som. So you can keep 10 days fast in lieu of giving to 10 people. And it is not necessary to give these grains or keep fast while you are in Hudud Haram. You can do these things outside the Hudud Haram. Wherever you are, you can start doing these things immediately. And if the total estimation of the killed animal is even less than half a sa, then you can just give to one needy or keep one fast. And similarly, if you distribute it amongst the needy and some amount remains which is less than half a sa, then in lieu of that amount you still have to give to one needy person or keep one fast, even though it is less than half a sa. But the whole estimated amount has to be paid in as a consequence or kaffara of your killing. So therefore you should give at least to one person or keep one fast, even though the amount remaining is less than half a sa. And similarly, if you don't want to give grain to the needy, then you can feed the food. You can give food to the needy, but you have to give food at least 2 times, because half a sa is equivalent to feeding a poor 2 times food. So one in the morning and one at night, or for lunch or dinner, whatever. But it has to be given twice to each needy. So if you don't want to give grain, you can give them food. Similarly, if you bought an animal as a hadi and then send it to the Kaaba, but still some money remains, so either you can buy another animal and send it again to the Kaaba as hadi if there is amount remaining, or you can just use the remaining amount to distribute amongst the needy or feed them or keep the fast as has been described above. And one other point is that all of these things are obligatory if you kill or hunt down and kill an animal. But if you hunt down and injure it, then also you have to pay the consequences of the amount of the price of that injured animal, which has been reduced. For example, the price was 1000 rupees, but after injury the price has now cut down, has been minimized to 800 rupees, because now the animal is injured. So you have to bear the consequences for 200 rupees. So either you can buy an animal for 200 rupees, or feed the needy, or keep the fast. So you have to do one of these three things in the reduced amount that has been there due to the injury. And one other thing is that hunting down animals is not allowed, and even sacrificing them is not allowed. So you can't say, oh okay, I'm not hunting them, I'm only sacrificing it, or this guy has hunted it down so I can sacrifice it. So you're not allowed to sacrifice it as well if you are a muhrim. If he does that, then the injunction is like murdar. So that meat is definitely not allowed for that muhrim to eat. It's like the meat of a dead animal. And for estimating the price, if you kill an animal in a jungle, so in a jungle people do not live, so you have to find some nearby localities outside the jungle, and the most nearby locality you have to find 2 people or 1 people amongst them who are reliable and who can estimate the price of that animal for you. And finally, helping out someone who is hunting down. So a muhrim, his intention may not be good. He will say, okay, I will not hunt it down myself, but I will definitely help someone who is hunting so that I can eat the meat of that hunted animal. So what does that mean? That he can help the hunter? That means that he can, for example, point to that animal, or he can talk and say that you can go through here, and then you can hunt the animal very easily. You can provide some proofs about how to hunt, the process of hunting, etc., etc. So any type of help, either through your hands or through your tongue, or through moving, etc., etc., that is completely not allowed for the muhrim to do.